Sunday stream. We are happy to see all of you here. Okay, my phone. Chapati is here.
And we are live already.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hi guys. Hi Jackie. Hi Savarna. Hi everyone, guys. Hi Eugene.
Yep, me also here.
Hi Becky. Hi Jess. Glad to see you guys again today.
Panchal asks, are you there in Ukraine? Yes.
Yes, we are in Ukraine and
Ingrid, ciao, ciao, Ingrid.
ciao.
Oh, hugs to
Familia Poco. Hello to dear Chapati. How are you guys? Well, I would say that we are not that good because the last 2 weeks of our life were full of terror from the Russian Federation. They have already destroyed 30% of our critical infrastructure.
They said it's 40.
40, even 40 is for now. So we are having great troubles with electricity, and each day we don't have electricity for 4 to 8 hours, which of course influences our lives greatly. It's not that it's not only that you cannot do regular stuff which you used to. It's also, of course, about the mood too, because now autumn has come into our country. We don't have that much daylight. We don't have this shiny sunlight. And when it's dark in the apartment too, of course, this makes you depressed kind of a lot. And of course, you cannot do lots of work you used to make.
And it's being like our apartment's fully electrified. We don't have gas, so we cook on the electric stove. And that means that like when there is no electricity, you don't have a possibility to cook anything for you. You don't have.
Same with hot water. We don't have hot water when we don't
even
have
cold because the pumps are turned off. So when
and we don't have heating, and it's becoming quite cold here. You might see that I'm wearing quite warm clothes because it's quite cold already here. And of course, we also don't have internet. We don't have our Wi-Fi at home, but our mobile internet is also terrible.
It becomes terrible.
Yeah, it becomes terrible when we don't have electricity because all those stations which give mobile internet, they are probably also decreased in power, and like during the time when we don't have light, I cannot even normally talk to anyone. So like the maximum my mobile internet gives me is just texting, and even that could be a problem. Yeah, so this week wasn't very nice emotionally, wasn't very nice physically too. But we are trying to get used to it because Russia is shooting our power stations more and more each day. So probably at some point there would be a situation when we'll have absolutely no electricity, or maybe it would be like 1 hour per day just to charge some devices. I don't know. But our future is getting more and more unpredictable each day because Putin is going mad because he cannot, because he doesn't have any victories on the front, and his only way to make Ukraine feel bad is just to terrorize our civil people.
I think that especially the next month's gonna be very hard. They will continue to terrorize our critical infrastructure, to bomb it, to shell with everything they have. And this is going to be hard. We'll see what happens next during the winter time, but we know that right now, before the G20 summit meeting, Putin tries his best to make Ukraine negotiate with him to give up defending the territories, to sign some kind of agreement, which would be only a possibility for him to recollect the power of his army and to strike Ukraine again. So this is what's happening. Probably the most difficult month is gonna be next. So.
And it's very close already. Next month.
No, I mean the summit is gonna be held on November 20, so it's like a month left till that, and Putin will do anything possible just to sign any kind of agreement with Ukraine. And of course, Ukraine will not sign anything with Putin. So we're awaiting for some terror and infrastructure hits.
Yeah, what is also very bad in this case is that now they found out a strategy on how to destroy as much of our anti-missile systems as they can. What they are doing, they are buying very primitive, very cheap drones from Iran. And of course, this is also a very big news from the last weeks, is that Iran started to support Russia in an uncovered type. So they are supplying Russia with drones and with new missiles. So we can now even say that we are not just fighting with Russia, we are already fighting with Russia and Iran too. Which doesn't look like a very very honest disposition of powers, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so what they do is they are heading hundreds of these drones, thousands of these drones to Ukrainian territory. They are very cheap and they are very primitive, but still they do a lot of damage, and in order that damage not to be done to Ukraine, we have to use our anti-missile systems, which actually cost 10 times more than these drones, even more than 10 times more. Yeah, so one drone costs 20,000 US dollars, while one anti-missile, even the most primitive ones, would cost $100,000. So we are actually using the last of our anti-missile systems to fight those drones. They are very cheap, so Russia can use thousands more of them. And at some point, we will just lack anti-missile systems, and they could fight us even more efficiently with those missiles which are left in Russian Federation. Chapati is not in a very good mood today, probably. As usually, she feels our mood, and of course we do our best to calm her down, to be as calm as we can, because we know that our mood will always influence her, but
and vice
versa too. But at times it's just impossible, because the experience which we are now going through, it's way too much for regular humans' psychics. It's something you could never imagine in your most terrible nightmare, but it now happens in our reality.
Again, on the political front, as you know, there are some news. First of all, Chinese leader Xi Jinping was re-elected for 5 more years. So he'll continue his strategy of increasing the wealth of China and its power on the world geopolitics scene. And also, right now we know that China is struggling with economical growth. So probably it's also one of the point from China to Putin that this war should be stopped. And that is why Putin is trying so hard to get some kind of negotiations with Ukraine, because of course having their economical growth as the main priority, China will allow that the peace will prevail. They don't care about what kind of peace is gonna be, but they need more like stability in the world, more trade, because only trading, especially with America and with European Union, it's what gives them a possibility to grow. Otherwise, they will have economical decline, and it's like nothing that happened in the nearest past, because China always grows economically. So if they have this decline, it could be like it's going to be very bad, not only for China but the whole world also. And in Great Britain, Liz Truss resigned from the post of prime minister, and the next election is gonna come. And as I know, it's gonna be next week, and it's also very sensitive and tricky question for Ukraine whether the next prime minister will be that supportive as Boris Johnson or Liz Truss. Whether it's possible for Boris Johnson to be re-elected, we don't know. I mean,
But we pray for that, because in Ukraine he has already
Yeah.
become an
I think
icon.
I think that is a question for UK citizens. We don't know much about how good he was or not, but for Ukraine, he was a great supporter and a great friend, and we do hope that the next prime minister of United Kingdom also will be that supportive. So, but who's gonna be is up to, of course, United Kingdom citizens.
Yeah, but for us it's very important, because actually the situation is that USA and Great Britain are probably the countries which we count most on, because they used to be the most supportive. Of course, it's also Canada, but I guess that initiative from the USA and from Great Britain was always like the most
And
important.
our good, lovely neighbors, Poland, of course, like Czech
Of course,
Republic.
but in Poland we cannot we cannot doubt support of Poland, because Poland could be the next after Ukraine in Putin's plans. So of course Poland will do all their best to help us.
Not only because of that, they are really supportive, and
They are really
great
supportive, and
friends.
we have many things in common with this nation. This is why
And also, you know,
friendship is
on
great.
in November there is an election in the United States, so they would probably have a different disposition in this lower parliament, and probably Democrats will lose to Republicans, and the majority of this lower part of two level parliament is gonna be for Republicans, and we don't know what's gonna happen, because like when something change, and the leader of Republicans, I'd like to say that previous leader,
We hope.
we hope that Donald Trump, he is pro-Russian. He says that the war should be stopped by Ukraine being surrendered.
Surrendered.
So
Surrendered.
and this is what never will happen, but we don't know what the level of support is going to be when if Republican wins the majority in lower part of parliament.
Yeah,
So many instability.
Many instability, and unfortunately, there is a sort of situation when we cannot count only on ourselves, because we are fighting an enemy who is many times bigger than we, and whose starving ideas are to control the whole world. And of course, small Ukraine cannot win it all only by itself. We can win it with our manpower, but if we don't have any supplies, any helps in weaponry, it will be Ukraine to be swollen by Putin, and then there will be a next season of this terrible series.
Yeah, it's a nice point that if, for example, right now the active phase of war will stop by signage of any agreement, so we'll be waiting for the next season of this series, because like the initial idea of getting rid of Ukrainian nation will never be there while Putin is still alive.
Yeah, at times I'm very shocked that many of our followers just don't understand the situation. Sometimes we are even getting some messages like that we are cheating and that it's not Russians to kill civilians. And for me, of course, it's very hard, because we are the people who are here. We are the people who see everything on our own eyes. We know the situation perfectly, and we understand Russian language. We can watch some Russian television, their TV programs, and understand what is actually going on. And of course, it's very funny when people from India or some other countries which are very far away, they try to teach us and to tell us what is actually the truth, which is nothing to do with real truth. And what is very important, that on Russian television, Russian governmental television, each day these people are being brainstormed, and they are told that Ukrainians doesn't exist. There are no Ukrainians in this world. So like it's a true Nazism in nowadays, because they either say that there are no Ukrainians, or they say that we are all Nazi and we should be destroyed. But you might understand that there is a tricky part, like we should be destroyed, so who is Nazi? Here's the question. Yeah.
Okay, let's read some comments.
We were asked if we are getting enough basic facilities like foods and medical scenes. We still have some food supplies, but while we don't have electricity, we cannot cook. We cannot buy foods, because shops don't work too, because without electricity they cannot do that. So it's a very tricky question, and it's a matter of time, because the more infrastructure will be destroyed, the less facilities we will have. There is also a great risk that we can be found in a situation when we don't have any water too, which of course would be, and heat is also a very tricky question, because it's getting colder and colder. And even now it's already cold. Speaking about medicals, it's a hard question. There are some types of medicines which are available, but still there are some which are not available anymore. And especially important stuff is about iodide, potassium, Iodine, potassium iodine. It's the only thing which can help you to lower down the radiation consumed by your body in case if any power plant is destroyed, which looks quite possible as for now, because Russians are that crazy people who don't care about anything which would happen with ecology, with planet Earth. Yeah, so we cannot find this potassium iodine anymore. And of course, there are quite a lot of other medicines which are not available.
But in general, the medicine is still there, and the majority of, like, if there is anything way too specific, it could be a shortage of that, but like all the main medicines.
As for now, but now we can talk only about our today. We cannot talk about our tomorrow because our tomorrow was stolen by Russian Federation. And we are also asked if Chapati is getting her essentials. Luckily, as for now, I guess maybe few 3 months ago, we already could get Chapati's food because for the first 4-5 months of the war, Chapati's food wasn't available in Ukraine, absolutely. So we had to change her food for few times, and she got great troubles with her hair. She was losing it, and
Yeah, because of the allergy.
yeah, so she had allergy. Yeah, but luckily now it's back, and just a few days ago we bought
a few more packs.
Few packs, so like at least for the 3 months we have supplies of Chapati's food. I guess that's the main point as for now. Luckily, we have a veterinary clinic right under our house. We don't like it that much. The specialists are not that great there, but still they have their own power generator. So even when we don't have electricity in our neighborhood, they have it. So like in case of emergency, we hope that they could still give some help. And of course, like there is also one tricky question is that we are living on the 19th floor. So each time we don't have electricity, we have to walk in down and then walk up by the stairs. So we're now getting much more physical trainings as we used to do before.
Just right, seen film of the drone attacks this week, very scary. Yes, like when you see it physically, the damage which was done, when you, especially like the photo will not tell you that because on the video you see how they fly, what the sound they produced, which is very scary. How the people are like our police trying to take them down with machine guns, something like that. Because you know when they like route at least 20-30 drones at one city, one time simultaneously, it's like becoming a huge mess. Most of them are taken down, but some, of course, they reach the city, and you see like people on the streets seeing the drones hiding or whatever they're doing, filming. So it's like it becomes like a Armageddon movie, you know.
Yeah. And you can even feel that when you're sitting in your own apartment, even when all the windows are closed, you can hear that annoying, terrible noise of these drones, and you can hear all the explosions, and it's scary. It's really scary, and it also scares Chapati. So, like, yeah, these 2 weeks aren't that happy. I would even say that, like, particularly, I really feel depressed. I cannot do the work which I used to do. I cannot even find energy to answer messages from my friends, not even talking about messages on Chapati's Instagram. Like I lack energy even to talk with my closest friends. Um, but
Yep.
And we are also afraid of tomorrow because during these last 2 weeks, they always made this especially heavy attacks on Mondays. So now we are already awaiting what is going to happen tomorrow because we're already getting used that Mondays is a day of great attacks and that our mood will be spoiled for the whole week.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? Yeah, the question of Jessica about the Iranian instructors which were killed in Crimea. Yes, this is true. They say that almost 10 people from Iran were killed in Crimea because of Ukrainian attack. Those are instructors because they supply Russia with drones and they need to teach them how to use these drones. So they had those instructors on this base and they were destroyed. And also there are some reports that Iran instructors are also in Belarus because they time from time they attack Ukraine from Belarusian territories with these drones also.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell that we are fighting with Belarus too, actually. Like not with people, but still, these are 3 countries. Amit Panchal is asking, how can I help you guys? Because Chapati is our boy also. Chapati is a girl. Well, there are different ways how you can help because we are now in such a situation when we are open to any type of support. Of course, you can always support us on our Patreon or via PayPal because we still lack job. We still cannot find any job now because of all the situation in Ukraine, and we are living in for a debt. Yeah.
In a debt.
In a debt. We're living in a debt. So like any sort of material help would be absolutely amazing. Of course, we
especially small donations via Patreon. I mean, when you have like your income, which is not income but donation, but like let's say it's an income when you have it.
Yeah, so it's better to have a small donation regularly
Yeah.
than one big donation at once
because it's predictable.
Yeah, because we can predict what are we going to live for the next months. So we are very open to this type of donations, and of course we are very, very thankful to those people who already support us for such a long while. It's like more than half a year already, and it's our food as for now. So thank you guys so much. And of course, Amit, you can always donate to different funds in Ukraine, like You Animals, a fund which treats animals which were injured during the war. You can imagine how lots of them there are now. It's much more than people. You can donate to different charities which supply our army with weapons, with anything.
Equipment and
Yeah.
medicaments.
And of course, we are also very happy to have your emotional support, like when you are visiting our streams, like when you're making comments to our posts and putting likes and putting, it sounds horrible now, when you are sharing Chapati's story, it means a lot to us. So we are open to any sort of help. By the way, speaking about animals, I'm also in a very, very bad mood for the last 3 days because the day before yesterday, I found out some videos and some pictures about more cruelties of Russian soldiers. It was a village in the Kharkiv region, and this village was already taken back by Ukrainians. So after all this terror, which this village had for many months,
from the start of the war.
yeah, from the very start of the war, our soldiers found lots and lots of animals, especially dogs, which were stigmated by Russian soldiers with their fucking Nazi signs like Z and V letters, which actually, like in Russia, they now work same type as swastika did during the German Nazism. So they stigmated animals with these letters. Like, could you imagine this sort of cruelty, this sort of madness that people have? And of course, I started to cry, and I still, like, each day I wake up with these thoughts because I could physically, of course, emotionally, I feel it, but still I physically can even feel this pain when this, how this saying is called? I mean, no, клеймо, like this mark, this special mark, which is put in a fire in order it to get very, very hot, and then it's on the skin, burn on the skin, and like just imagine this. And they did it for animals, like not even Ukrainian people whom they consider as enemies. They just make it to innocent dogs and cats and other animals. Yeah. So
anything else?
So of course I will be very glad if you. Last week I made a campaign in order to fundraise. To raise some money for our fund You Animals, which treats all these animals injured. Unfortunately, I didn't totally reach my goal, and the campaign is already over. But you can always donate to You Animals directly, because this is really a true sportsy organization who already saved thousands and thousands and thousands of lives in Ukraine. I mean, lives of animals.
Yeah, but anyway, we gathered something thanks to our friends who donated, and the amount we got on PayPal is 372 US dollars, and during the next week we will transfer them to You Animals, and we'll make a post.
Of course, we will share that. Simran is asking, why is Boris Johnson better than Liz Truss for Ukraine?
I will not say that. I would not say that he is better, because Liz Truss was also very good and supportive to Ukraine. So it's very hard to compare when one is good and another is good. But Boris Johnson was like a big friend. He came to Ukraine so many times. He became a meme in our internet community. So like some songs,
And I mean a good,
some songs were made about him. People just love him because he was one of the first, together with probably Polish President Duda, who came with the help in the beginning of the war and stood very firmly on the position of supporting Ukraine and supplying Ukraine. So he was very good, and we do love him as being a
Very
charismatic, very smart person, very unusual because like all the politicians are pretty the same, and it's so nice when you see the person who is not like others, who is bright, and yeah, his charisma is something very unique and nice. On the other side, Liz Truss is like, we don't know anything about her policy and about, like, we heard that her initiatives, financial initiatives and tax initiatives were criticized like a lot, and that's why she resigned from her post, and uh, probably it's like the right thing that she did it, because if she made such a mistake which would destroy the economy of United Kingdom, so this is the right way to do. But in a personal way, she was like really ordinary, I'd say. It's my opinion.
Yeah, but I would say that as for now, the biggest reason why Boris Johnson is better for Ukraine than Liz Truss is because Boris Johnson still has a chance to go back to his post of prime minister, while Liz Truss lost her chance, and that's the scene. So of course she won't get back after her mistakes, while Boris Johnson still has this chance. Maybe it's not that big as we would love, but if he comes back, we can be sure that we will be under great protection of Great Britain.
Jackie and Jessica both help us with the word of these stigmating animals. It's branding.
Branding.
It's like you put your brand.
Thank you, girls. Yep, I wasn't sure in this term.
Yeah. So what else? Because I think we'll already 40 minutes almost online.
Yeah,
so
quite a long stream
so
today.
if you have any questions,
yeah,
guys,
there was a question from Jew. How will the winter affect the Russians fighting in Ukraine?
They afraid of winter, I think, because they lack of equipment, warm clothes. They mobilized so many people right now, but they don't have enough clothes and equipment just to supply them efficiently. So they gonna have a very miserable winter on the front line, and that is also the reason why Putin tries to make a pause at least till the spring, so he can rearrange all the logistics, prepare the troops, to train them. That is the reason he also wants to have this kind of agreement, like a peaceful agreement or just a agreement for temporary peace, because they lack of equipment. And we are, thanks to our friend from all over the world, our army is much more equipped. We received, I remember Canada supplies us 400,000 winter uniforms, which is like a lot. So, and other countries also do that. And right now, our activists, people who fundraise, they try to buy this special, let's say, heating equipment, which is powered with a gasoline or diesel, and produce heat, so you can heat your tent. So this is what is getting on, what is going on right here, and Ukrainian army has much more potential during the winter fights than Russians. And also, yes, I read a comment, I think from June, about some kind of Russian officers and collaborators leaving Kherson. Yes, this is the news, because they are awaiting of Ukrainian attack in the nearest future, and they are preparing. Like they will fight. They are trying to evacuate all the peaceful. Like, this is kind of not that small city. It has 200,000 of people, more than that, and they're trying to evacuate everybody for city fights. So they removed from this town, all the collaborators and all the intelligence teams and all the most experienced soldiers, and getting there mobilized people just as a gunfire meet, yeah, just to be there and to fight during the attack of Ukrainians. So
Yeah, but what is not very nice about all this evacuation is that it gives many of our analytics and experts an idea that Russia is going to do something very bad with Kherson. It's like, if they couldn't defend it. So if Ukraine will take back Kherson, there could be a logics like if Kherson is not mine, it won't belong to anyone. Like I will just destroy it because it's not mine. So
they
there are
could
ideas
destroy
that
it like in Mariupol. So they could use nuclear
tactical weapon
over there. They could destroy. Kherson is situated on the Dnipro River, and a few hundred, let's say, almost 100 kilometers from there, it is the big dam, which actually was built to supply water to Crimea, so they could destroy. They control it right now, so they could destroy it. So Kherson will be
totally flooded, and of course,
they will try to stop Ukrainian attack, so that after Kherson is taken, for example, that the Ukrainian army cannot proceed to the left bank of the Dnipro River towards Crimea region. So they will probably destroy the dam just to.
And we already know that this dam is already mined by them. Yeah. So either it's just for threatening us, or it's for really destroying it. But in either case, we cannot feel well in such a situation.
Yeah, so here what we have. And this month's gonna be intense, so we'll keep you updated on everything. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for all kinds of support we receive, your warmth, your prayers, your words of support.
You're visiting of our streams, of course.
Yeah, donations, of course, guys. Thank you so much. So
thank you for everything, guys. I guess, we are going to finish for
it was
today.
a long one.
Yeah, probably one of the longest streams we had. Okay, so see you.
Love you all, guys. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, hope to see you next week. As for now, our electricity cuts are scheduled.
Yeah.
As for now, and luckily on Sunday we have electricity during our stream time. If everything remains the same, if not 100, if we don't have much bigger troubles with electricity, we still hope to see you next week.
Anyway, we'll update you if anything happens about everything.
So thank you for being with
guys.
us, and bye.
Bye.